back to my practically imperfect life. It's pretty early in the morning, and I just came out to get my first cup of coffee, and I don't know if you can tell, but we're getting snow today. We are supposed to get anywhere from 5 to 8 inches today. Fantastic, right? So a couple of things that we had planned for today have to be shifted to other days. We were supposed to have a friend over for a chemistry lesson, and I didn't want them driving here with the roads being snowy. And then golf lessons got moved off today and everything. So we'll probably find some time today to tackle some things on the to-do list. The kids had a special request for spaghetti and meatballs for dinner tonight, so we'll whip that up using some of the sauce we canned this summer. I did get a really cool haul from Johnny Seeds yesterday, and I'd love to show it to you. Nothing quite gets you in the mood for spring like opening up gardening supplies while it's snowing. So anyways, I'm going to have my cup of coffee and then go, and we'll be back.
Finally feeling human again. It's amazing what a shower and a little bit of makeup does for your day. All right, getting ready for group today. So we are in Arise, the study of the book of Nehemiah, and we're, I don't know, maybe halfway through this book. Been kind of interesting so far. Real heavy emphasis on prayer and turning to God before you start a task, or when you're getting discouraged through a task or facing opposition. So it's been really good so far. And then we are still on Old Testament people. This is our program that we got from CPH that we do 3 days a week, and talking about God's plan in Israel's rebellion. So we're getting to like right where they're at the promised land, and of course they're having doubts yet again. And then doing some review things for German. So we get these like review packets that come with the program. So I print off a copy for myself, and then I fill in the answers, and then I have a copy for each of the kids. And then that way, as we go through them, reviewing for a test, we can do that. And they've been doing a lot of learning of infinitives. So we're focusing on können, müssen, and dürfen, and mögen. So can and must, allowed, or may not, and like. And so practicing how you use those in a sentence and how you conjugate the verbs, because that's always just hard to do, but we're getting ready to take a test tomorrow, so we wanted to make sure we go over that. And that's group for today. Okay, so it's a little bit before lunch, and we are at a point where both the kids are working on their independent subjects, and I find myself with some free time, so I thought I would use up some bananas that we had that were overripe and make banana bread. And I am using a recipe that my mom gave me years and years and years ago. In fact, I still have this really old little recipe book. This is from when my brother was, I think, in kindergarten. They had collected recipes from everybody, and the one that my mom submitted was her banana bread recipe. So the recipe book is, a hot mess, but it is the best recipe for banana bread by far. We have tried a whole bunch of different ones. In fact, my daughter kind of went on a kick where she made like all these different ones she found on Pinterest, and none of them have just quite met the standards of my mom's banana bread recipe. So it's super good. It's like a moist bread. It's got this great crust on it and everything. So I just thought I would make a loaf today. I will go ahead and I'll put the recipe down below for you though. So if you'd like to try it at home, you totally can. But it's basic ingredients. Like you do need 3 to 4 large bananas that are fairly ripe. Mine weren't huge, so I just used 4. You want them to be really easy to mash and, pretty much not totally brown on the outside of the banana, but, pretty spotted up. Flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt. You need a 1/3 cup of butter or margarine, 2 eggs, some water, and that is really it. We have done a couple of times where we've mixed like chocolate chips into the batter, or done chocolate chips like on the top near the end of the baking to give it, a little sweet kick to it. But we really just prefer it the way that she wrote the recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up and in the oven. And like I said, I'll link the recipe down below for you if you'd like to try it at home. while the banana bread is baking, and because it is snowing like a fiend outside, I thought it'd be fun to do this unboxing from Johnny Seeds. So they are a company, they provide seeds for everything from fruits to vegetables to different types of flowers. They have products that you can use to do seed starting kits, grow lights, all of that stuff. I have a large garden area that we used for a vegetable garden last year. And then we have added in 2 more beds that we're planning to plant up next year. One that's going to be a cut flower garden, and the other that we're going to move all of our vining crops to. So last year I had my watermelon and pumpkins kind of intermixed with everything else. And if you've ever grown vining plants, you know that they go where they want to go, and they go crazy. And it does make it hard to maintain the rest of the garden. So I wanted to get all the vining plants in their own area. So this year we're going to be starting a lot of things, here in the spring, and then we'll harden them off by exposing them gradually to temperatures outside, and then plant them in the ground once we're past our final frost state. I do not have the grow lights yet, but I am planning on ordering a cart that has some grow lights on it, so that way I can get some things started. I don't have a greenhouse. That is on the wish list. So basically have to find a way to do it indoors until I can get a greenhouse started. So anyways, I'm going to unbox this and show you what I got. So part of the reason that this box was so large is because I did order these seed starting trays. So there's 72 in there. And when I get my seed mix ready, I'll fill them all up, do the seeds, and I'll label them with what they are to get them going. And then I ordered these trays that they fit into, because if I'm, putting these on a tray or a tiered system here in the house, I don't want water dripping through the bottom and getting all over the place. So they fit perfectly. I got 5 sets of the 72 count cells, and then I got 5 of the trays. I don't know if I'm going to need more. Maybe. We'll just kind of see, how it goes. Now, when I'm starting seeds in trays this small, there are some things that once, they've started to grow in here, I'll be able to then transfer them outside and, plant them directly from here. But there are other things that are going to need to be repotted into slightly bigger pots. You don't want the root system to get too compressed inside here, because then you don't have a healthy root system. Things will grow if you put them in a bigger container. So this is really to get things started, and then certain plants will have to transfer to slightly bigger cells, and then from those out into the garden itself. So that's part of the reason why the box is so big. So as far as actual seeds go, I bought a lot, and I won't plant every single seed for every single item all at the same time, or even use them all this year. A lot of these have, quite a few seeds in them, and I won't need all of them. And as long as I keep them stored properly, I will be able to do them next year. Or if I have things that I want to grow like in rotations, like if I want to have one crop of something, start another batch of seedlings, plant that a little bit later, I can do that as well. What I'll do is I'll just tell you what I got. I'll throw a picture up of what it is, so that way you can see. So for the cut flower garden, I got 2 different types of Gomphrena, Audrey White and Audrey Pink. And I've never done Gomphrena before, but as you can see in the picture, it's a cute little plant. And I thought it would just be fun to incorporate in a bunch of cut flower arrangements. I got a lot of different zinnias. I grew zinnias. I direct sowed them last year, and they did just fine. And I will probably direct sow all of the zinnias in the ground this year too. I got a dwarf zinnia called Double Sahara Brilliant, Benares Giant Mix Zinnias, Queenie Red Lime, Benares Giant Orange. Then I got Amy in white dill. So it's not dill, but you can see it's kind of like a nice filler plant. I got a couple different snapdragons, Potomac Berry Blend, Costa Summer Lavender, and Costa Apricot. Amaranth. Oh, guys, okay. I've been wanting to grow amaranth forever. It is just such a big, dramatic, beautiful plant. And if you're going to do cut flower arrangements, it's just a great way to add texture and dimension and just a lot of, beauty to those arrangements. I got Coral Fountain, Emerald Tassels, and Velvet Curtains. Then I got Yarrow in Summer Pastels, Status in Seeker Blue, and Johnny's Status Formula Mix. Cosmos, I got Afternoon White, Cupcakes Blush, and then I got Stock in Iron Pastel and Cat's Formula. So again, it's just a big variety of plants. I was trying to do things that we're all different, and that when I do cut flower arrangements, I have a lot of different things to pick from. I made a few cut flower arrangements last year from the garden, and I just have been really anxious to, do that more regularly. Now, I will say that I did also put in an order for dahlia tubers. So I didn't order a ton because dahlia tubers are freaking expensive. But I got some to get started, and I thought each year I would just kind of add to the dahlia tuber collection. So that way I have a nice dahlia selection as well. All right. As far as vining plants, for that part, I got hybrid butternut winter squash, hybrid slicing cucumbers, so just ones for us to eat, diploid watermelons in sugar baby, so smaller sweet watermelon. I got a cantaloupe called Sugar Cube and a cantaloupe called Sarah's Choice. So 2 different types of cantaloupe, but we really like cantaloupe, so thought that would be a good one to try. And then pumpkins. I had a really hard time choosing which pumpkins I want to grow, and I probably won't have enough room in the vining garden that I made to grow all of these this season, which makes me sad. But I am going to try to grow at least one of each variety if I can. So this one is called Cinnamon Girl. This is a hybrid pie pumpkin. I got one called Hot Chocolate. I mean, just look at that color. Isn't that fun for a pumpkin? All right, this one I'm going to say the name wrong. Jaradale. Jaradale? Yaharadale? Wrong. I got these giant pumpkins called Big Moose. So these should be pretty cool to watch grow. Casperita. This is a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin called Champion. Another giant pumpkin called Polar Bear. And then Musky de Provence. So again, probably saying that wrong, but if I can get at least some of these all growing, it would just be nice. Even if I only have enough to decorate like my front porch. I mean, that's kind of the goal there. And then vegetables for the garden. I got a bicolored corn. It's one of their signature corns. So we are going to try a couple rows of corn this year. Haven't done corn before, but interested to do it. I got, these are called Romance carrots. We did carrots last year. They did well. Walla Walla sweet onion. So yes, this is the sweet onion, but they get huge. And if you store them properly, you can get a large crop, and then you can have onions to get you through the whole winter. I got 2 different kinds of beans. I got a pole bean. So one that I am going to, have to trellis and train up a poles. And then I got bush beans, which I probably still will need to provide some support for, because if you've grown beans before, you know that they get really heavy and they tend to lean. So I'll do a little bit of kind of trellising or support there to keep them up. But I got a bush bean called Jade and a pole bean called Sacalus. I'll show you the name because I can't pronounce it. Okay, got a hybrid broccoli, Green Magic, romaine lettuce called Dragoon. Now, lettuces in our area, you have to grow them early and then late. It's like you can't really grow them in the heat of the summer. They will fry. So this is kind of a cool weather crop for us. So I will grow some of this. I'll probably plant it out there in like April, have an April-May crop, and then I will wait again. And early September, I will do another crop, and then I'll harvest that. That's what we did this year. So we had some fresh lettuce kind of in early fall. Hybrid bell peppers. This is the only pepper I ordered. Pepper plants are one of those things that I will just go ahead and get from our local growers, because I don't do a lot of the weird peppers. I do red peppers, and I do yellow peppers, and I do green peppers, and then jalapenos. So was fine with that. I got a white cauliflower called Amazing, a hybrid zucchini squash, a smooth leaf lettuce. So again, cool weather crop. So we'll do a spring planting and then an early fall. I got a second onion. This is a yellow onion called Talon. And then I got pickling cucumbers. So this is a special request from my daughter, because she pretty much took all of my cucumbers last year and turned them all into pickles. So I wanted to have slicing cucumbers and pickling cucumbers. We had canned, I don't know, maybe a dozen cans of pickles, and they didn't even make it till Christmas. She ate them all. So I need to double my cucumber crop next year so I can make her enough pickles to get her through till spring. But that is my seed haul, and I'm just pretty excited about it. There's nothing like thinking ahead to spring on these kind kind of cruddy, snowy days. And then I am going to have my daughter help me with doing the garden planning as far as what we're going to put out when, and how much how much of our ground we're going to allot to different things based on how much we want to grow as part of her botany course she's doing in her homeschool. Snow update at noon. That's how much we've gotten. Oh, are you gonna go out again, dog? The only one in our household who's excited about this snow. Okay, so I know I mentioned a lot that we do 2 guest hollow programs. We do a cultures and geography one for my son and botany for my daughter. So hers is an elective, and when you get the programs from Guest Hollow, they come with a PDF that has, you know, clickable links and explains like what you should read from each book for each day. I could just print that out and like highlight what I want her to do. I choose to type it up. I do this so that way I can make sure that the reading assignments and the videos are fairly spread out throughout the day, you know, throughout the week. And she's not getting, you know, too much work to do on any one day. So just to show you like one day's worth of assignments here, it looks like a lot when you look at the number of books, but I want to show you that it's really not, you know, anything that's too crazy. So for example, for that particular day, she's reading a few pages about the Curia. It's just 2 pages. That's from the book 100 Flowers and How They Got Their Names. She works on this book a few days a week. Every week she has to read about the willow tree. So again, it's just a couple of pages of reading from Lives of Trees. Wicked Plants, which is, I think, her favorite book. She's reading about psychedelic plants. And again, just a couple of pages of quick reading. From Trees, Leaves, Flowers, and Seeds. This one is really more, you know, about getting the pictures, I think. There's little bits of information next to the images, but she is just looking at these 2 pages for the day. And then she has a couple of pages of reading to do from Botany for Dummies. So she's reading about seedless vascular plants. And again, it's just a couple of pages that she's going to read, and it'll be pretty quick. And then every day she fills out a page in her journal. She just has to list different facts about what she's learned. So, you know, she can choose from videos, she can choose from readings. I mean, as you can see on here, she's got a couple of videos to watch, and I have these bookmarked in a folder for her botany classes. What I do is I just made a big folder that said botany, and then I did weekly folders and I put the videos in there. If you want, you could just have the PDF pulled up for your student, like on the computer, and they can click on the videos that you want them to watch, take it straight there. You don't have to add that extra step to yourself. But there's also an option in there. One of her books is how to draw like an artist, or draw flowers like an artist. And so on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, according to the schedule, there's a different flower or plant that she has to draw in her journal. And since she loves to draw, it's perfect. So you can see just some of the cool things that she's done. And this is really for me to be able to make sure that she's, you know, been doing the readings and doing the assignments and learning things from it. I don't set any specific guidelines like, hey, you have to include this many facts. It's just, you know, write about what you've learned and, you know, include those sketches. But look how cool this little book is. I feel like this is just so neat, and it's definitely something I'm going to save for the future. So a child already took a slice off of this, but what we normally do is we pop it out of the pan after it's set in there for 10 minutes, and then we let it cool. What we have always done though is when it's like halfway cool is I'll wrap the whole thing in plastic wrap, and then what it does is it keeps the moisture in, and then this crust gets like a kind of a soft crust, and it's just really, really, really good. So if you prefer like a crustier bread, you could leave it like this, or you could wrap it up and make it extra soft, which is what I'm gonna do now. This project of the day was putting some new curriculum material into a spiral bound format. So I used my cinch. It lets me do all of the steps from punching the holes, placing it onto the coils, and then closing it shut. Pro tip, if you'd like to make sure that the seam is hidden on your coil, you simply put the top page on, followed by the last page. Then you will clamp it down using the cinch, and then you have a spiral bound notebook made quick and easy at home. So you might have caught a glimpse of the title page of the 2 spiral bound notebooks I was putting together. I was organizing material for a new curriculum that I was asked to do a review for from Guest Hollow. Next week, they're releasing their Government Econ Personal Finance course, which is amazing. I have been hoping that they would put something together that I can use with my kids in their junior or senior years, and I was really honored that they asked for me to take a look at it and do a review about it. So my video with the review and kind of talking about what the curriculum includes and my thoughts on the different things will come out next Tuesday, which is also the release date for that new curriculum. So super excited, can't wait to tell you more about that program. All right, well, the snow has finally stopped. So my son has asked if he could go outside and shovel our really long driveway to earn a little extra money, and I'm cool with that because it means I don't have to do it. I did go outside once today and I used a broom and like knocked off the snow from my rose bushes and my boxwoods just so nothing would get so heavy that it would break. And in fact, quite a few branches were under snow and they just popped right back up as soon as I cleared them. So he is welcome to that job. I am happy to give him a little bit of money for going out and helping with a task that's probably going to take him the next hour. So I'm going to go get dinner started so that way it's all ready when he comes in. We're going to do some spaghetti and meatballs tonight. Got to pull some of my canned sauce that I made this summer out and use that in the spaghetti, so it should be really good. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today for this day in the life. I am going to go ahead and end it here. If you enjoy day in the life videos, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below to my channel so you can get notified when I post new content. I will put the recipe for the banana bread I made earlier down in the description box for you. I will also link Johnny's seeds. So if you want to check out their website or look for materials to be able to do your own seed starting for gardens, you certainly can. There's still plenty of time to get that ordered. We still have several weeks to go before we can get those started here and get the ball rolling before spring planting. So thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Mid-afternoon snow update. Picnic table's getting even more covered. And one of the kids is out shoveling the driveway, which is pretty awesome of them.